Hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've taped my last done a last video. But just kind of stuck in a rut maybe and just trying to see what was going to be my next thing. But I have a couple of projects that I'm thinking about and that sort of thing, and you'll be hearing about them soon. But I just wanted to kind of come on here and um kind of give you a little background of where my first beginnings were really, and it provoked a actually writing a book, and my first beginnings were during 2020 really, and searching for and scouring YouTube and Facebook and for what my next craft was going to be, because like everybody else, everybody was stressed and worried and that sort of thing, and I needed something different to kind of distract myself, get my mind off things, because in essence, art, and it doesn't matter what type of art it is, or craft, hobby, it really helps to it takes you away from your mundane, your worries or your mundane days, and it really brings you into another realm. Well, for me it is. For me, crafting, that's what it does for me, but especially junk journaling is what it does for me, and I get into a certain flow of art that I just can get lost in it, and I can go hours without realizing how long time has lapsed. And anyway, so that was where I began my journey, and it really inspired me to write a book about it, and to help people get started in junk journaling. And that's one thing I learned as well, is that it took me 6 months to start my first junk journal, and and it was just because I was overwhelmed with all the videos and all the creators, like totally inspiring. But for a new beginner as myself, I was like getting a little just felt bombarded with all sorts of options and avenues to take, and where do you start, and there was always those helpful videos. If you're a beginner, start here, or if you're a beginner, you can do this. But sometimes there'd be a little piece of it that I would be like, okay, yeah, but I don't understand this part of it, or this part of it. And then the video would get lost in my history, and I would save it, but then I would find a hard time finding it. I tried to write it down, that sort of thing, to come back to it. And then, of course, the video is something that you have to keep coming, rewinding and checking out how the person like actually did the steps and that sort of thing. And so it inspired me to write a book. And it's actually an ebook. And I'll say I went for the ebook option for the moment, to see how it does, and I may do a printed version in the future, but for now it's an ebook. And it's an ebook because it's twofold. It has different, it's just not about creating your first junk journal. It's also it provides a little bit of info and benefits in actually journaling and writing a journal, and what type of journals you can create, and their purpose, and that sort of thing. So I go into quite a few details about that. And I also do I take you step by step in creating your first junk journal, a very simple no-sew. And this is the actual journal I created when I was writing the book, and through the step by step. So you'll notice the pictures actually depict this particular journal, and it's bound by with a ribbon, and I used some digitals and that I had, that sort of thing. But you don't need digitals to create a junk journal. You really don't. And I go through that in the ebook. I go through what materials you need, or what materials that you can use and find, and also all sorts of different types of papers. I outline all of that in the ebook. And I just wanted to flip through a bit of my ebook itself so you can have a look what it's inside. And also, another reason why it's an ebook versus an actual printed version, it's because I have at least 20 pages in the back that are printables that you can actually use for the journal that you want to create. So you can, if you print it, you can print it as many times as you want and use as many times as you want the images, and so it gets you started. And that's why I decided on the ebook, because this way you don't have to take apart a printed book version and you just have it for the one time, right? And as an ebook, you can print it several times. And the pages themselves, where all the written, can also be used. And so these last 19, I think 19 pages or 20 pages are all I'm sorry for the glare. There's a little bit of glare because I got this printed at Staples here in Canada, and it has kind of a gloss finish. I asked for kind of a sort of gloss finish to it. But when you print them on your printer, they would turn out non-gloss, right? And depending on which paper you use, but this is really the gloss finish I chose. So so that was the biggest part of the reason, it was to include a printable for you to help you get started and be able to decorate and that sort of thing if you wanted to. And so it's really to jumpstart your first junk journal, even though you don't know where to start. And you go through that rabbit hole of videos, and this is just an all-in-one book that you can refer to over and over with the steps that are in it, right? And I'll just kind of give you a little flip through. There's the index of what's in it, and how to use it, the actual ebook, and the chapters include create for self-care. So I talk a little bit about that and mental health. I talk about getting started and creating your journal, and then the step-by-step instructions. And then I also have a process recap and instructions recap. So it's all like, and I'll show you the recap. So this is like my story. And as you can see, the pages have themselves images you can use. Like you can use this old typewriter in the journal that you create if you want, that sort of thing. And like the little flowers, like the backgrounds, or even the text itself. So I go into detail how you can actually use the book as well. And this is my story and how I started off and through myself through the years and that sort of thing. And you'll notice that in the right-hand corner, it depicts exactly where you're at in the book, right? So it's easy to kind of refer to and what chapter you're in. And this is, carving time for yourself. And then I have these collage pages. Again, you can take these and use them in your junk journal that you're going to create with the instructions I provide. And then there are the benefits of creating, crafting, and journaling. I go through each thing, like dealing with grief. It helped me deal with grief. It leaves a legacy, and that's one of the prime reasons I love junk journals and documenting in them is, documenting my life story, my kids' life story, growing up, that sort of thing. And then some tips to start a journaling practice. So there's a couple of that. And then I define what a junk journal is, and there's all sorts of definitions and that sort of thing. I go into that, like one of the tags. You can actually take that tag and reproduce it and use it as your as a base, and the types of journals. And then we get into the basic materials and supplies of what you need and the nice to haves and that sort of thing. We'll go into the journal's purpose. So determining the purpose may help you create your junk journal. If you get stuck, right? For me, I got stuck in the beginning. I didn't know what to create even. So I started with a Halloween. I went with a theme, and Halloween was approaching, and that was my first junk journal, was a Halloween book, to document all the Halloweens for my kids. And so we go into, details about a journal's purpose, what can it be, and it could be for anything you would like it to be. There's no rules, right? There's no rules in this. This is just to help you, guide you, and tell you, and let you know how you can go about it, right? If you need that guidance and without having to scour the internet to find out things, right? Also, when you purchase the ebook, and notice the bonus included 30-day art journaling prompt list. I do provide a 30-day art a prompt list as well when you purchase the ebook, and you get 4 weeks of direct contact with me by email to ask questions. If you get stuck, and so I want you to be able to, you'll be able to reach out to me and ask questions when you're creating your journal. And so we go into the cover. So we go step by step, like into pieces about the cover, and then we go into the project specs and supply. So this is really for the one that you're creating, and what I used, and what you need, and the nice to haves. And so these are the step by steps. I put them as clear as possible with the A, B, C, D, E, F, G steps and pictures that you could use, and then creating the cover, what you go through, and the steps in going through that. Again, continuing creating the cover, and then about the signatures, and then we get involved in what the signatures involve: plain paper, book pages, add-ons, specialty paper, that sort of thing, right? So it really is I think it's simple instructions and thorough, and we talk about binding and different types of bindings that you can use, and then the specific binding that we used in my ebook. It was a ribbon binding, right? No-sew binding, and then how to do that and be able to do that very easily. So those are all the steps in it, and then there's some binding tips when you come to that point, and what can you do. And then here you see this is the journal that I created with it, right? And then we go into a little section about decorating the journal, and like some basics on how to decorate it, and then the recap. So, and this is literally my thought process and my instructions, summarized in written form, but that you can go and refer to the pages, because I do refer the pages back. So if you're like just a purely written person and you want to see the actual written part of it, then it's here too. And then their pictures are all in the other pages. And yeah, and then a little note on myself, and to encourage, and skills for success. And then, like I mentioned today, like I mentioned earlier in the video, we have the pages, the printables you can print out and use as background. These are used as background pages to get you started, and that sort of thing. And so there's a variety. I just kind of threw like all sorts of little things that could be interesting. I tried to put as much a variety and some aspects to actually decorate it. So that's pretty much it. You'll have the link in the description box to my Ko-fi page. That'll bring you to the ebook. And if you purchase the ebook, and you'll get the 4 weeks contact with me. All you have to do is just contact me through Ko-fi, and we can start a conversation. And you can email me. You can email me as well, or message me on Instagram. I'm pretty reachable, and we can get started. And I can also send you the 30-day prompting list, because that goes along with the purchase, but I couldn't link it up with the actual purchase, so it's a manual document that I need to send separately. So you have to contact me if you want to get the 30-day prompt list. So that's what I came on to kind of let you be aware of, and this is where really I started my journey, and I wanted to share it with everybody. And my channel is going to be, and this is like the beginning of maybe a few instructional ebooks and also some printables. I want to get into designing my own printables and digitals and stuff like that. So there's more to come, and I love making junk journals. I like making themed journals. If you've seen the last few videos, I've had quite a few different types already. So I just wanted to say thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting. It's been quite the little journey just to learn how to come up on YouTube and start doing something. So I'll leave it there. So if you have any questions or comments, please comment below, and we can get started. So I'll just end by saying, let the serendipity find you in your junk journal adventures. Thanks. Bye.